A 2-time league MVP, a 3-time NBA world champion, the greatest shooter in NBA history, Steph Curry. You can pull from half court, you can handle the ball with the best of them, you can speed boost. This build can do everything you would want in a great point guard build. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another NBA2K20 demo build video. Today we have the one and only Steph Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Now, I did a lot of Steph Curry videos in 2K19. You guys seem to really enjoy them. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you drop a like down below for me. Subscribe if you guys are new, and let's get right into it. So whenever you're going to start to make these players, you got to figure out what are their strongest attribute categories. Now, for Steph, it's pretty easy, honestly. Obviously, his shooting. He's the greatest shooter ever. I don't even think that's a debate anymore. And then his ball handling. Steph handles the ball really, really well. He can create space for himself. He can break defenders down to get a shot off or to get into the paint. And the last thing about Steph is he's deceptively quick. I don't think if you measured him to a stopwatch how fast he is and stuff, he would blow you away. But on the court, the fact that he can shoot so well and people have to play him tight, he's really good at getting past them, getting into the paint and stuff like that. So those are the 3 things we have to have in this build. So as you can see, Steph Curry, point guard, right-handed, yes. Okay, so if you're going to make Steph, you have 2 choices really for the pie charts. It's either primary shooter or primary shooting and playmaking. Now, I mean, you could go with the primary shooting just so you have that 95 3-pointer, but I'm gonna be honest, for me, I would rather be able to speed boost to create my shot. And I still get an 80-something 3-pointer, which is really, really good. I don't need a 95 to be able to shoot consistently. Onto the physicals, obviously it's Steph. He's not the strongest guy, so go with the pie chart that gives you the most speed and lower. Obviously, it's gonna lower the strength down, which is fine. It's Steph. We wanna be quick, we wanna be fast. Now, attributes. To me, this is one of the easiest builds to create. Max out the shooting, obviously. You want to have as many shooting badges as possible. So even though Steph doesn't really shoot post fades, you got to max it out this year so that you get as many shooting badges as possible. Those shooting badges are what's really gonna make him play like Steph. Again, max out all the ball handling. You need as many playmaking badges as possible. Steph doesn't do post moves, but this year you got to max it out to get the playmaking badges. Now scroll up here to the finishing, and you're going to max out the driving, layup, and the shot close. Believe it or not, Steph Curry is actually one of the best guards at finishing around the basket. Even though, he plays below the rim for the most part, he finishes at a really consistent rate. Now defensively, upgrade the perimeter defense, lateral quickness, and you're also going to upgrade the steal, but only go up to a 70. Don't max it out. We need those points to get badges elsewhere. Now up here, we're going to upgrade the driving, dunk. I know Steph has missed some dunks in the past, but yes, he can dunk, and you're going to want to upgrade it because you need some finishing badges on him. Upgrade the standing dunk as well. That's going to give you 6 finishing badges for us to play with later. For the build, if you're trying to make Steph, you got to go with the slight. Obviously, Steph's pretty skinny. He's not that muscular, so go with the slight build. He's listed at 6'3". I mean, if you want, you could go 6'4", 6'2". Go around that range, but I'm going to go exactly at 6'3". I'm comfortable with that height for this Steph Curry build. Now, the weight, I'm going to go at 172, the maximum weight you can have, but still with the most acceleration possible, 93 acceleration. Now, for the wingspan, the only thing I would tell you to do is don't max it out because you need 86 ball handling to speed boost. That's kind of what makes this build as good as it is. I mean, if you feel like you need a higher 3-pointer, you could go minimum wingspan, but for me, I'm pretty confident, with that mid-80s 3-pointer. I don't need it to be higher than that. I'll be able to shoot consistently, and I'd rather have a little bit longer wingspan to help defensively, help get, maybe a couple rebounds and stuff like that. So I'm going to go with the default wingspan, but this is really up to you. You do what you want. If you want better shooting, then go minimum. Obviously, it's going to hurt you in other areas, but I'm comfortable at 79.5. Moving on, last but not least, we have our takeover. Now you get the choice, I don't know how, but you get the choice of slasher takeover. Listen, it's Steph Curry. I think we have to go with the sharp takeover, but they changed it this year and it just doesn't feel as good. It's a spot up shooter. It's kind of more of while you're standing there, if you catch it and shoot it, you're going to make it a lot. But I mean, I honestly like the shot creator takeover better this year. At least so far in the demo. We'll see how in the full game drops. But it's Steph. We got to go with the sharp takeover, all right? I mean, he's the greatest shooter ever. We got to go with the sharp takeover. And last but not least, we have our player comparisons. Now, let me make this clear. I don't care who the game compares my players to. Last video, I didn't show this screen, and everyone freaked out. As you can see, they compare me to Steph Curry. Great. I don't care who they compare me to. I'm making the build to actually perform in the game as close to the player as possible. For example, the other day I made a pure slasher and they compared me to Kevin Durant. I think we can all agree Kevin Durant is not a pure slasher, but because the game compared me to him, I should be happy and say I made a Kevin Durant build? No, I'd rather actually make a build that plays like Kevin Durant than have them compare me to Kevin Durant on a pure slasher. Y'all understand my point? All right, let's move on to the badges. Alright, so let's start with the easiest one. Obviously, we only have one defense badge, so listen, it's your choice. I put it on clamps to help perimeter defense. If you want, you could also throw it on pickpocket to help you get a couple steals, but for me, I'm going with clamps. Now, the most important badges, the playmaking and the shooting badges. So, first off, the playmaking badges. We're going with a bunch of badges that are going to help you create your own shot. Now, ankle breaker, stop and go, tight handles, quick first step, and space creator. These are all badges that are going to help you break down defenders. Also, when they do play up on your shot, you'll be able to get past them, get into the paint like Steph Curry, go to your floater, get into your layups, maybe even get a dunk or two. But all badges that are going to help you beat defenders off the dribble. Steph Curry is really good at creating his own shot, whether it's dancing around a screen or just breaking down a defender 1v1. You know, you got to have these badges to help Steph create his shot. Now, basically, you can decide what you want to do with the last three. Dimer, handles for days, wherever you want to put it. I'm going to put it on Dimer because Steph is a good passer. He gets a lot of assists, so we're going to go with the gold Dimer to help your teammates make some shots. Now, shooting. Listen, we got all the best shooting badges on Hall of Fame. Deadeye, catch and shoot, difficult shots, quick draw, and range extender. It's Steph Curry. He's the greatest shooter ever. I don't think we really need to talk about why he gets all these badges on Hall of Fame, so let's move on. The only thing I would say is you have 2 badge points left over. You see I put it on corner specialist just in case you end up shooting like fades or something from the corner, but yeah, you could throw it on whatever you want. Volume shooter, tireless shooter, any of these other ones, maybe slippery off balls. You know, obviously Steph does work really well off the ball, running off screens and whatnot. But for now, I'm just going to throw it on corner specialist. Obviously, as you upgrade your player, if you end up making this build, you'll get more badge points you can put wherever you want. Last but not least, finishing badges. Like I said, even though Steph plays under the rim for the most part, he's not dunking on people and stuff. You know, he does get a dunk here or there, but for the most part, under the rim, he is one of the best finishers around the basket in the league from the point guard position. So we went with Giant Slayer, Teardropper, and Acrobat all on silver. The reason being is just going to help you finish around the hoop. I wish I could put Teardropper a little higher, honestly. Maybe take one off of Giant Slayer or Acrobat and throw it down on Teardropper to get it on gold. But I'm pretty satisfied having all 3 on silver. They're going to help you finish over big men around the rim. So last but not least, throw in the Steph Curry jump shot and you got your NBA 2K20 demo Steph Curry build, man. Let's get into this gameplay now. So I just got a couple minutes of gameplay here for you guys. Now, obviously, like I always say, it's just against the computer, and I believe the difficulty is pretty low. But listen, I've played on a lot of builds in the demo so far, and this build felt really good. The speed, the quickness, the ball handling all felt really nice. And that's with normal 1 dribble moves as well. Obviously, we don't have any dribble moves here in the demo, but the shooting was incredible. I mean, you could really pull from anywhere. You could shoot, you know, hop shots, off dribbles, literally anything, and you can just hit consistently. You could crab dribble people, pull up, bang. Like, you get ankle breakers with the Hall of Fame ankle breaker. The build overall felt really, really good. It did feel like a Steph Curry build, if I'm being honest. Now, obviously, if you're playing on the park, especially if you're playing on the 2s, you're going to get bullied inside by big men and even big guards, honestly. Now, on the flip side, they're going to have a hard time dealing with you because you're so quick and you can shoot any type of shot from any range. I mean, look, we're pulling up from the logo in this game. So it definitely felt like a Steph Curry build in that aspect too. Obviously, really, really hard to guard, you know, can get buckets, can create shots for others because defense has to react to your shooting ability and pull the defense out even farther to guard you because you can shoot from anywhere. But on the other end, Steph obviously is not the greatest defensively. That's why they usually have Klay Thompson guard the opponent's point guard or the opponent's best scoring option at the guard position because, you know, Steph's just not the best defender. One thing Steph does bring to the defensive end is he does play passing lanes and sometimes, you know, get on-ball steals and stuff. I think he usually averages like 2 steals per game. And on this build, you do get steals. I think I actually ripped D'Angelo Russell one time. So that 70 steal rating definitely comes into play and helps you out. One thing I do want to mention about the Warriors this upcoming season is the fact that so many people are writing them off, and obviously they're not what they used to be, obviously losing Durant and whatnot, but when Klay comes back from injury, I mean, they got Steph, Klay, D'Angelo, and Draymond, and then they signed, you know, some decent role players like Willie Cauley-Stein. And listen, I'm not saying they're going to win the championship, but people are writing them off like they're not even going to make the playoffs. If I had to say, I would definitely put them in the playoffs, and I would say they're definitely a team that you don't want to face in the playoffs. We know how hot Klay and Steph can get, and then you add in, you know, D'Angelo to that, he can get hot as well. I mean, that's a lot of 3-point firepower, and if they get hot, no matter how good your team is, you know, threes are worth more than twos. If they're raining down, they're going to be tough to beat. So I don't think they're going to win the title or anything like that, but I'm just saying people are writing them off beyond belief. They still have the core of their 73-win team. Obviously, the role players have changed significantly without Iguodala and some of the other guys, but don't write them off, man. They're still going to be in the playoffs. They're still going to be making stuff happen. They're still going to be a dangerous team that you don't want to face. But as you can see, my NBA 2K20 demo Steph Curry build definitely plays just like Steph. I mean, this free throw here puts us at 53 points, man. Drop a like. Subscribe if you guys are new. I'm out. Peace.